Here we are. Thank you so much for joining in with us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Not Degeneration X brings to you this Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. What are we doing on a Tuesday? Well, because Thursday, I'm not going to be riding in this car. So we thank you very much for joining us on this very special Tuesday edition of the live Warriors of Wrestling Drive Back to Queens Q&A. King of Chaos here along with the boss man, Joey B. How you doing, boss? Yes. So happy you could join us. As always, please feel free to hop in with questions, comments, anything you got. Just, throw it at us. Let's make this interactive as always. And while you're at it, please go ahead and share this. The more people that are joining with us, the more people coming in and making this a group effort, the merrier. It's going to be better. You know how it is. Everybody jumping on in. As we see, or heard rather, the boss man is exhausted tonight. I'm pretty exhausted. I'm going on quite a bit of no sleep, and I've been dieting like a son of a bitch. So I'm miserable and tired. So that should make things pretty interesting for tonight. Any specific topic that you'd like to talk about? Have you been watching anything on the network? Have you been watching any wrestling at all?
I haven't watched much of any of it. All I've been doing is working. Like I said, I've been trying to catch up with not catch up. I've been trying to watch The Glow Season 2. I really like the first season. I liked it better than actually watched the Glow than the Glow product back in the 80s.
You watched the Glow product, right?
I was 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, I remember watching that as a kid as well. I mean, obviously later on, I was very young.
It came on, I guess it's Channel 9 used to have WWF on Saturday morning, and then I think AWA was on Channel 11 at noon, and then Glow came on around 1 on, I don't remember.
Josh, I just might have to send him that match. It's never a guarantee he'll watch it because, the boss man doesn't necessarily.
What match is this?
Timothy Thatcher versus Walter. Thatcher's a West Coast guy, but this was a match in England. They beat the shit out of it. It's fucking Walter guy. I think you'd love him. Mm-hmm. Fucking big giant son of a bitch just fucking hits people. I'll send you the match. It's fantastic. What else is here? Scott Cerriti, what's going on? Frank, what's going on? Hello, everybody who's joining us. So, you know what? Let's talk about Glow. Why the hell not? Does anybody here have any... What's going on, Pete? Anybody here have any memories of Glow? Hop on in, throw it at us. I know that some of our younger viewers...
I got a good one.
Might not have a clue. We'll get to that in a second. Might not have a clue what Glow is. So Glow was the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. It was a all-women's promotion in the late 80s, early 90s. Would you say?
Mid-80s.
Mid-80s?
86 to 1990.
Yeah, it's about 1990. Where WWE Hall of Famer Ivory got her start. And it was so... The interesting thing about Glow was that it did not bring in any female wrestlers. That was an interesting... It was a female wrestling promotion, but there were no actual female wrestlers. The women they had on the show were all actresses and people looking for work, where they were like, hey, we're going to build an entire company out of just, amateurs here. And it was Mondo Guerrero, right?
Yeah, no, it was Chavo's father.
Chavo Sr. I thought it was Mondo. Chavo Sr. Trained these girls on his own in a studio for like a week, and that was, the wrestling training they got. It was like, okay, and we're going to create a product, and it was super campy, super cheesy, B-movie craziness, but every girl...
Chavo Jr. trains the girls for
the
TV show.
For the TV show, right. And it was insane. Every girl had a weird, crazy gimmick. Like we were just talking before, you had Palestina, who was a terrorist. Americana, who was
Mount Fiji,
who was like, the farmer's daughter. Everyone had a fucking weird
Hollywood
gimmick there.
Vine.
Hollywood, yeah, it was a lot of real craziness over there, but weird and super entertaining if you like kind of B-movie cheesiness. It was super cheesy. The wrestling was far from good. But like it had a weird lasting impact, it being like the first televised all-women's promotion. I mean, it predates the Women of Wrestling pay-per-views and predates, all the, shit that we got in the late 90s. And they would rap. The opening of each match was each girl rapping, cutting a promo on their opponent. It was... If you haven't... All these episodes are on YouTube, so if you haven't seen any of these, please go ahead and check it out on YouTube. Again, you're not going to get quality wrestling, but you are going to get some really interesting shit. That's all I can think of. What are we getting in terms of comments? Joey doesn't like wrestling from Juba.
Fuck Juba.
Watch the doc. Yes. So Tim's talking about the documentary on Glow, which I believe is still on Netflix. That documentary is actually fantastic. Yeah, you've seen that. Yeah. That documentary is actually like top notch, excellent, well done documentary. And again, you could have no knowledge of Glow or what the product was or anything having to do with anything there, and still genuinely appreciate how well this documentary is done. I don't know if this was Glow or not, but I remember women's promotions in the 80s. I remember the Housewives. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah, that was Glow. That was part of Glow. The Housewives. And the Housewives, they had like the punk rock girls. I don't remember the tag name, but they were like fucking.
That's who the Housewives transformed into.
It's very possible. I off the top of my head, I can't tell you. But there were some interesting gimmicks. There was Big Bad Mama, who was this, giant, fat black woman who was fucking hell of a heel over there. I remember watching this as a kid. And I was a very young kid watching this and just, getting... At the time, literally anything that was wrestling, I wanted to watch. I couldn't care if it was good or bad or anything. I just wanted to watch wrestling. So when this was on, fucking sitting there and suck it all in.
That's how it was with me too.
Yeah, it's how it was because we didn't have a network. We didn't have anything on demand. You didn't have
cable. You didn't have the NWA.
Right. You just watched WWF when it was on.
Or AWA was on too.
I didn't get AWA.
Channel 11. Saturday morning.
I never caught that. Ever.
Oh, this is before you were born.
Of course.
This is 85.
You're a fucking old ass man.
85. This is when Stan Hansen beat Rick Martel for their title.
No, but that was like literally, so my weekends when I was a kid before Monday Night Raw, my weekends were pretty much, you had Saturday morning WWF, you had WCW Saturday Night, which I used to watch and I loved WCW Saturday Night. The Power Hour. Sunday morning you'd get WCW depending.
That was the Power Hour, and then Sunday night you had the main event.
I don't remember the main event, but I remember WWF also had a Sunday program as well.
Well,
that I'd make sure to catch. Then once you had Raw was on too late for me as a kid to watch. So I used to, primetime wrestling I'd catch here and there. But I was also too young to be really staying up and watching it. Raw was always taped for me, and if it wasn't taped for me by my father or somebody else, I have friends who tape it, and we'd like tape pay-per-views and send it.
Back in the day,
yeah.
Before there was really pay-per-views, there was the 1 or 2 a year. If you were a wrestling fan like I was, you would you would search and find wrestling wherever you could, no matter what company it was. Like the Savaldis were running ICW, IWC,
right?
CW,
Which I'd catch every once in a while because you're flipping through channels. Oh yeah, but again, it was wrestling, and I just wanted wrestling.
We would just watch it because exactly. WCW at the time.
Take a swig for the working man.
WCW at the time was bad in the early 90s, like 91, 92. But now looking back, and I'll watch it because I'm like, it wasn't really that bad.
Yeah, 100%. You can watch it now and just have the nostalgia behind it. Let me go through some of these comments. Pete, I genuinely recommend you just check out Glow. Again, it's not going to be very good, but check it out because it's something completely different. And it honestly, it has a serious place in the history of pro wrestling. Again, for the first televised women's promotion in the States, if I'm not mistaken. The Watch Capital Kids segment, apparently the two girls showcased, found you and Benny to be ugly. Well, Benny and I are ugly, so it kind of works out nicely. I think that these girls said, the kids, the Capital Kids, they showed footage of Capital Wrestling to these two kids, and they said, I believe, that we looked like an unclean toenail. You ever see a toenail and it's not clean? That's what they looked like. Okay. It's tremendous. I take that as a compliment. Anyway, I continue. What other memories do you have of Glow? So you said you had one.
So this one girl got her elbow.
Oh yeah, that's the big one, and a lot of people remember
playing it over. And they must have replayed it for weeks, and on the same broadcast over and over. I forgot the girl's name.
Now, mind you, I forgot it as well. I remind you guys, Glow was a taped, edited, and put together show, no different than like a sitcom that you'd watch. So, they had these shows, they sent it in, so they didn't decide, it's like now if somebody gets hurt on fucking any show, they edit it out of any replays, because they don't want to show that kind of thing. No, they replayed this girl getting her arm snapped.
It was
fucking disgusting.
It was uncomfortable after a while.
Oh my god, they just kept replaying it. It's fucking TV in the 80s, man. They don't fuck around.
I wonder if you can find that on YouTube now.
100% it's on there.
Yeah.
I've seen it on there.
I forgot who the girls were. I forgot who the heels were in the match.
There were, I think
I think the belt was like a crown. That was a championship crown.
The belt, their championship belt was a crown. Which again, I mean,
At the time,
it doesn't quite age well.
I don't know if it was Farmer's Daughter. It was somebody.
Farmer's daughter was super over.
No, it wasn't Farmer's Daughter. It was one of those like goody two-shoes girls. Her brother came out on crutches and gave her the strength to win the match.
Yes. Oh my God.
So bad.
It really was really bad. You know when people criticize Vince Russo for like, oh, Vince Russo used to get all of his ideas from the shitty B movies that he
I got him from Glow. I'm good, buddy.
From
Don't
the
come near
fucking
my car.
shitty B
Don't
movies.
Come near my car.
He get his ideas from the shitty B movies that he used to, from working at his video store. Well, these were definitely 100% the ideas straight out of like B movies. Just ridiculousness.
I don't even know what they were out of. It was horrible.
But I think the guy who was behind, the guy making it, his whole thing was like, yo, I'm going to make like a truly like campy and like outright campy show.
I think about the time, I think anything that was doing wrestling was made, because that was when, like, it was right before WrestleMania 3. It was actually right before WrestleMania 2. And Hogan was selling out the world.
Right.
So anything wrestling, they even had, remember the figures? They had the LJNs, which were the WWF figures.
Right.
But then they had like knockoff figures that people were buying.
Yeah.
And,
Because wrestling was hot.
Yeah, exactly.
That was Jane saying, so remember the late 90s, early 2000s, we had those women's promotions that did act pay-per-view, and the referee did a sick bump off the side of a cage to a table. Yeah, so I think that was Women of Wrestling, the other WOW. And I think there was a women's promotion that ran with pay-per-view or like had some kind of funding that had Dave McClain, who was the guy who made Glow.
Was that Blow? What was it? There was another one. Was it Blow? It was
Blow.
It was something similar to Glow, but it was the same guy. Maybe it was WOW.
Yeah, the fucking late 90s and Joe's already talking about Blow. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
But there was another company.
There was a couple of other ones. I know that there was the WOW. There was another one. There was a guy who won like a lottery and then funded a women's wrestling promotion with like Jimmy Hart doing something involved in it. It was another one like that was just fucking horseshit. That might have been the one with Dave McClain. I could be wrong. Look this stuff up. Let me know. But there was a lot of women's promotions that ran in the late 2000s because, again, wrestling was super hot again, except instead of, like, you follow the trends. So in the 80s when wrestling was fucking weird and campy, you had a weird and campy women's promotion. In the 90s, where it was all fucking tits and ass women's promotions.
SWF.
Wrestlelicious. That's the one, Tim. Thank you very much. Guy won the fucking lottery forming a women's promotion.
Remember Herb Abrams?
Oh, yeah!
He owned UWF. You know how they found that guy dead? He was in his office with his pants down, fucking hooked with a bunch of cocaine all over the desk.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's a hell of a way to go. It's a hell of a way to go.
I guess so.
God damn. God damn it, pal. Well, yeah, I mean, if we could sit here and we can do an entire fucking day on Herb Abrams UWF.
I don't know.
That promotion was just absolutely ridiculous. We should do an entire day of like the lesser known wrestling promotions that either ran big shows or had TV or did so, because there was a company, and I've got a DVD, it was called NWF. I don't know what it stood for, but they were advertising
National
the
Wrestling
Ultimate
Federation?
Maybe. They ran out of Vegas, but they were advertising the Ultimate Warrior was going to be there. And the advertisement, they ran promos, and the Warrior said he was going to be there. And all the stuff were like, the Ultimate Warrior's coming. And then, of course, in, perfect Warrior fashion, the deal ended up falling through after they fucking advertised the shit out of him. I don't think they ran very many shows. You could see from the thing they weren't very well attended. But I do know that Cactus Jack, and I think it was Cactus and Sabu had like a fucking brawl that went throughout the arena and then went into the fucking casinos. Which is, pretty fucking crazy considering, Cactus and Sabu.
UWF, I think, was out of Vegas too, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Was it out of Atlantic City? They had Bruno there. Wasn't he announcing that?
Yeah, it might have been a fucking Northeast.
Dom Morocco was there.
Yeah, probably a Northeast company.
I'm talking about UWF.
Herb Abrams UWF.
Yeah.
That wasn't Mid-South.
Not what's the other guy?
Yeah, that wasn't the Mid-South version.
Not Bill Watts.
Yeah, no.
I'm talking about the UWF in the early 90s. He got all like the old...
Right, I think that
guys.
might have been like a Northeast thing. Because if it's all the old WWF guys, a lot of those guys live around
Atlantic
there.
City then.
Yeah.
They drew nobody.
Right, they had a lot of dog shit there too. What was the other one that...
They had all big names. Tito, killer bees.
Right, but it was